How you doing, Pioneers? This is MJ, KK, 613.14. Come back at you again. Unofficial Pi through my eyes. I'm still working on trying to keep as much of the content official. I mean, I'm not speaking for Core Team. I'm putting out my video unofficial from Pi app. But I have the official information right in front of me. Okay? Now, I may not be presenting it as professional and whatever. You go into the app and you start floating around the app, you can find all the information. And when I was talking about the all the models and all that kind of stuff, if you go into configure the configure lockup rates, the feature, going to configure lockup rates and go to learn more in the first paragraph. There at the bottom of the first paragraph there's a learn more. Go into the learn more and it explains what's going on. And probably about lockup economic model. Yeah, it's probably about third of the way down the page. It gives all of the breakdowns on for the model. Okay, you configure. We have Pi balance, legit numbers, official numbers in the economic model for the lockup. Okay, you configure, do the math to make the best choice for you. Okay, because not everybody has the same amount of Pi. Not everybody's been here the same amount of time. Not everybody thinks the same, does the same. Looking to whatever the end goal, your end goal is, and all that. Okay, this locking up Pi right now is the best return on investment if you look at it that way. We've earned the Pi. Once the Pi becomes up, we've earned it. It's ours. Okay, so we are investing in our network, and we are being rewarded for it, for locking that up. I mean, because I still haven't dug deep enough or understand deep enough yet as far as mining, because in the paperwork, it's official, it talks about mining boosts. Now, one paragraph that I read, it sounded like I was having to remine my Pi. It was just the way I read the paragraph, or read the first part of it. Lock it up now to mine at a higher rate later. Pretty vague. Yeah, I'm locking it up now. I'm going to get a boost in mining rate, but it's going to be at some later date. So, for me, the mining mechanism, okay, I don't know. I have my own opinion on it, but I don't know yet, unofficial. And we may get into it in this one, because like I say, the numbers are here. They are official numbers, and it breaks it down to where you can calculate the amount of Pi, the percentage of Pi you're going to stake, and you can calculate for the amount of time, and you can come up with a return on investment percentage of. Okay, and then take the Pi you have, and the way transitioning into mainnet is, we will get, once Core officially launches mainnet, we will get, if we're KYC, we will get our Pi balance, the one that we earned alone. Then that initial, that's why we need to set the configure for locking up Pi, because I believe when we have our Pi honored, that's when the locking mechanism will kick into effect. And what will happen, the way I'm understanding, what will happen is when our account is honored, the pie that we will be keeping or have or whatever it is. I mean, if you put 100%, if you stake 100% of your pie for 3 years, you're going to get the best return on investment, which won't leave any pie in your pie wallet. It'll all be locked up. Now, if you choose 90% or whatever it is, 90% is going to go and get locked up. Then 10% is going to go to the pie wallet. The pie wallet will go to mainnet on the blockchain, in our wallet on the blockchain, and the 90% will get locked up. Then duration of time, and it's different levels. The booster at different levels. And I haven't gotten that deep into it because I really don't. I'm not. It's not where I need to know it so I can explain it to others and new people and whatever it is. But I got my. Because I haven't sorted out the whole locking mechanism yet, how it's actually working, what it's doing, what. Once I have an idea of how it's actually working, then I'll set up my configuration and lock up my pie. I just not sure how much yet. I know it won't be 100%, but let me check something. The 0, 25, 50, 90, 100, 150, 200%. I don't know, because it took it out of scale. See, and this is where I start, because I pick up on these little things. If you look at the percentages of that we can lock up a pie, 0%, 25%, 50%, no 75%, it goes to 90%, 150%, 200%. Okay. When I initially saw this, I was comfortable with 75%. I would have no problem locking that up for 3 years. But there's no 70 or 75%. How come? Why? Now, you can't tell me that it's the algorithm, because you threw the algorithm off going from 50 to 90. Because the algorithm should have went to 75. Why did it go to 90? These are questions I ask. And it's not a big deal, not that important to everybody else. It may not be evident. It is to me. Why? Okay? And those are the things I need to know. It's the way I'm built. It's the way I'm put together. It's the way I think. It's the way I operate. Okay? Because if I don't know or can get a legitimate answer to it, it'll bug me. It'll bug me hard. Yeah. And I won't do things. I won't, because I don't know what's on the other side. I'm not going to say I wouldn't lock up pie, but I'd probably only lock up 25% because I don't know what's going on. And I know it's OCD or PTSD or whatever, but it's the way I'm built, and I know it. I've lived with it for a long time, and it's a curse and it's a blessing. It's a curse and it's more a blessing than a curse, but it's cost me over time. Okay, so it's both a curse and a blessing, and and 3 years ago, I'd have been all over the place. Well, if what was going on 3 years ago, if I was the same person, and what was going on, and these little bits and pieces that I couldn't find to get an answer to, I was raising hell, and I still raise hell, but I probably would have been gone already. No, I've known quite a bit, believe it or not. I've known quite a bit, but I look forward to change, but I don't deal with change well. I deal with it, but I don't deal with it real well, because I don't think the same as a lot of people, and I know my views and whatever can get out there. I know that. I know that, but they may be out there, and to others they may look unrealistic. But when you break things down as far as I do, they're not unrealistic. They are a possibility because the dots connect, and if the dots connect, it's possible. Okay, and I'll probably do that in the third one because I am trying to shorten my stuff up. I know when I first read the paperwork for the mainnet, the mainnet feature, okay, and I know my videos get long and they get, people aren't used to doing it or don't want to do it, okay, and I put out a lot of information in that time frame, but I also understand that either people don't have capability or don't have time or don't whatever. So, like I say, on my videos, on my early videos, watch what you can watch and get out and go do something else. Okay, because I'm not after becoming a YouTube influencer. I'm not looking to build my life around YouTube and monetize my stuff and make that my priority. Because I also have an issue. Yeah, someday I may talk about that too. So I don't care. I mean, I appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate the views, and I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate the comments and whatever it is, the feedback and all that. I know I'm not professional. I can't afford to be professional. I mean, because I can't go get the cameras, I can't get the lights, and I can't do this, and I can't. Okay, and I'm solo, and my skills at editing are limited. The equipment that I'm working on can't handle the edits, so it is what it is. So hopefully someday, somewhere, I can upgrade. But why? I'm as old as I am, man. So what you see is what you get. So anyway, getting into, and as deep as I do, things are possible. So, like I say, I'm coming to understand it the same as everybody else does. Some are getting it faster, some are getting it, not getting it, some are, okay. Yeah, so there's information out there. Make sure it's official. And be careful. Be careful. We're starting to get close to becoming real. And once it's real, and it's real, the game's over. I have never looked at Pi as a game, but I use the terminology. I see how it plays out. See that? Okay. It's verbiage. It's my slang. It's my whatever. Okay. So I say, we get into like locking up is staking. If you research it in the space, they're interchangeable. They mean the same thing in the space. Now see, this is where I start to drift from crowd thinking or mentality or whatever. Because Core is not using it traditionally. How it was designed, how it was built, what it was built for. But the mechanism works for what's needed in Pi. But it's not tied. And that's why I say I need to figure out the mining part of it, because it's not really tied to the mining. All we are is we're locking up our coins, we're staking them, but they're not tied to any blockchain or whatever, like the rest of it, like what proof of stake is. So if it's proof of stake and it's not tied to the blockchain, okay, lock up. I wish, and this is where I kind of have come to. I wish Core would use. Core chooses their words. They choose the words they choose for a reason. I just wish they would choose some different words for some different applications. Make it, and I think they do it because people can relate to it and understand it, but they don't. Which is cool to let people understand it. But what's not cool is people aren't smart enough to put it in the right context. In my opinion. Because, alright, traditionally, it's for proof of stake. You stake the coins, Because in proof of stake, somebody else is doing the heavy work. We're putting up coins to hold blocks of whatever. Oh, I do want to touch on one thing too. So, when the contract is done for that stake, we earn a portion of the block rewards. Because proof of stake is proof of work. They're working off of the nodes, or whoever's doing the heavy work is working towards earning block rewards. Then, when the contract is over, whatever block rewards, we get a percentage of the block rewards earned by whoever's doing the heavy lifting. That's how proof of stake works. Okay? So, and people that know the space know how proof of stake works. They know that staking and locking up are interchangeable terms. So they're viewing it and putting it in the context of what they know. Okay? And that Pi has always had that kind of issue. And it's not, I don't want to take anything away from, because this court's probably, they can use whatever words they want to use, or whatever they want to do. But being around as long as I have, and watching what I've watched for over close to 3 years, verbiage has made a big difference. It has. Because, like I say, because people are so tied to traditional context. Core chose this mechanism to do what Pi needed to do to give it the best chance of succeeding, and to address the issues going from testnet to mainnet with all of the problems that are in Pi. Mm-hmm. And I get into how I connected the dots in my next one. Okay, so lock it up. Lock it up. We form the contract that we're putting up X amount of Pi for X amount of time. That's our contract. When that contract is up, it unlocks, and then we can either adjust our settings on, or we can adjust our configurations and lock it back up again and earn some more. Okay? Locking Pi up right now is the best return on investment. I'll keep saying that too, because it's their best return on investment. So, yeah, I'm not down on locking up. I will lock my Pi up, guaranteed. I'll tell you that right up. I just don't know time and percentages that I'm going to lock up. That's all. That's all I'm waiting on, and I have time to do that. Okay, I will have my numbers in before Core launches mainnet, or before I get my Pi. I have my numbers in. I just don't know. I just need to take time, because there's some questions that I have. The questions that I have, I need answers to before I decide what numbers I'm putting in. That's me. Okay, and I'll get them. I get them. I usually do. I get them. You know, we're at a point in time. I mean, I'm unofficial, so if I got them, I can post them. But we're at a point now that I have to be, I need to be careful on what I post, because there's more at stake. I mean, up until this point, everybody's putting out lip service, their own opinions, their own whatever it is. We're too close now. And I am privy to information that the general public doesn't get until 4 months. So, yeah, I know a lot more than what, you know. But I'm to a point now that I have to be careful, because if I step, and I know I push the lines, I do. I push the lines hard. If I step over the line, I will lose my position in Pi. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So, when I can put out what I know I can put out, I'll put it out. But I will find the answers to my questions. I know it. So, with that, that's the best return on investment we can get. Use it. Take advantage of it. It's there. But think for yourself. Do your own, calculate your own numbers. Because we still have another job to do on the other side. So, you know, if I could, I wouldn't personally, this person, I wouldn't do 100%. I mean, I could do 90% if I know what's going on. So I have some pie to help build the rest of it. Because we still have, the work is work we should have been doing back then. We're going to have to do now. We have no choice. We have no choice. Okay? And this is where I come in with people that, no, it wasn't anyone. Yeah. Anyway, that's a different issue. So, get the best return on investment. Lock your pie up. In 2 weeks to 3 years. Okay? Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, that part of it helps pie. Okay? So, but you do the numbers. Even a couple people crunch the numbers and whatever. And I would also, if you're crunching these numbers and figuring out what you're doing, I would keep it to yourself. It's nobody's business but yours. And you're going to be in charge of protecting yours. Yes, we are a community. We protect the network and we protect. But even, I don't tell my neighbor what I have in my bank account. I don't tell my neighbor what I have in my pocket. Sometimes I didn't tell my wife what I had. Okay? Yeah, the girlfriends I was with, yeah, they didn't know all my information. Because some of them I needed to protect you from. There's people I needed to protect you from. Well, and I'm not saying I don't trust you, but I'm not going to tell you my information. Okay? And here's what. I know Crypto Legend real well. And we hooked up a couple days ago. And my phone died. And when I'm debating, we were just in conversation. Most conversations I get into turn into discussions that may turn into a debate. Because we all have our own opinions, our own whatever. Our own way of viewing things and how we approach the world and whatever. Well, my phone died. And dude, I can't support what I'm saying because I'm too new and I don't have it. But I have it on my phone and I can't get to it. Let me check out the information. Now, he was hesitant. He was real hesitant. And, oh yeah, he had the top and the bottom block by his fingers, and I could barely read what I was looking for. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Protect your numbers. Protect your investment. Because, I know there are a lot of people that the game is points. It's whatever it is. Okay. I've been saying it for a long time. It's personal information. Protect it. Protect your. If you. All right. Tell me what you got in your bank account. Yeah. Send me the info of what you got in your bank account. How much do you have stashed in your drawer? How much do you have buried out in the backyard? Send it to me. Send me the information. Send me your address too. That's what I'm talking about. Protect your information because pie is the money. Will be the money. And if people, because we still have a ways to go, and if people know, if you're freely telling somebody what you have, you become the target. You have. Because, it'd be like going into the bank, drawing some money out of the bank, or cashing a check, or whatever it is, put it in your top pocket, stand on the first corner, and start shouting out that I got X amount of money in my front pocket. And how long are you going to have it in your front pocket? Not long. Not long. Maybe if you live in some small town that everybody knows it, but you live in any other town, you ain't going to have it long. You give out your pie balances, you're not going to have it long. You're not going to have it. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to say scare people or whatever it is. But grow up, wake up, handle your business smartly. So I say, crunch the numbers, do it for yourself. But keep your information to yourself, man. Keep it to yourself. So, with that, crunch the numbers, make your decisions, and there's nothing wrong with bouncing ideas off or think or if you don't know or are uncomfortable, there's nothing wrong with bouncing ideas, but just don't give out personal information. Okay? Round and round, whatever. Okay. Anyway, on that, the way I'm going to call them contracts. So each time I lock up my Pi, I enter into a new contract with that mechanism, the app, okay, because I'm staking my Pi for a duration of time. I've entered into a contract with that mechanism. Okay. Who knows? I don't know. That's how I view it and I see it. So, as that contract ends and unlocks, then I have to rethink things, refigure things, and I'll probably lock it back up depending on what else is going on. But the way the time works, if you don't, now see, somebody asked about, do we still have to push the button every day? Well, from what I understand on how this part of it works, if you miss a session, you have to add a day to the end of the contract, the duration of your locked Pi. So if you miss, say you set it up for 6 months, and in 6 months you miss a couple of weeks of mining. Well, if you miss 14 days in that 6 months, you have to add 14 days onto the end of the contract before the contract will unlock. Okay? Keep that in mind. So, somewhere along the line, we have to show that we're mining. If our Pi's locked up in a lockup, I don't have to show anything there because it's locked up for 6 months. 2 weeks, it's locked up. So somewhere, somehow, we have to show we're active in the network. Showing we're active in the network, we're mining. So that's another part of the questions that I need answered before I step forward. I need clarification on what's going on. Okay? So, like you say, that's how my mind works. Well, if I miss a session, if I miss starting a session, I have to add it to the end of the contract. Well, that means I have to start a session to keep my contract time current, and then unlock when it's supposed to. Okay? So, there's a lot more to this lockup and the app and all of that hasn't officially been put out yet. It is. I know it's coming, and it states in a couple of areas in this, all this new stuff going on, that the revision of the white paper will be forthcoming. It states it in one of the official papers. So there are holes and discrepancies in what's going on right now. If you look for them. You don't even have to look for them if you just, as you're researching and learning and understanding what the system is. I just popped 2 of them up in 2 videos. Okay? So there's more to this mainnet preparation. And if there's more to a revised white paper that isn't out yet, that means we don't have all of the information for what mainnet will be. And I'm not trying to debate with anybody. I'm just stating what I'm seeing, what I'm reading officially from official places. There are holes, there are discrepancies, and I have always had issues. Ask people who knew me back then. I could find a tiny soul, and I wouldn't let it go until I got an answer. So I'm just saying, do your own research. Okay? We're to a point that we need to do our own stuff and not be listening to everybody else. Because the same people that have opinions that they had, and what their opinions are based on before this feature was added, still have those opinions. Just like I still have mine. Yes, are they shifting and changing and adapting to what we have. Yes. Are they're shifting and changing? Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're using different wording, different verbiage. But because they didn't know pi then, they still don't know pi. They're just going off of what the mechanism and what they know of the mechanism. Yeah. So do your own research, come to your own conclusions, do what's right for you. You know, there's a difference. There's a difference in doing your own research on official sites, official information, official from core team. Doing your research in official stuff, and if not understanding it, you'll, because you've started, you scratch the surface, and you're starting to see and understand. You'll know who's talking the right stuff. There's nothing wrong with sitting down and discussing something with somebody. It's who you discuss it with. Yes, and this is where mob mentality and all community, whatever comes in. Yeah, we can cluster up and become mind think, mob think. Okay? If this is not taken, I'm gonna shut this one down. Mob think, mob mentality are not free thinkers. They're not thinking for themselves. They're followers. They're followers that have congregated together. And there's probably one or two leaders planting seeds and getting the mob to do what they want to do. That's how it. Yeah. Watch some old westerns, man. I mean, one of the better of the old westerns that had lynching. I mean, community, stood up and we're gonna hang this guy and do whatever and all that. Okay, yes, it's movies and it's acting, whatever. But if you start looking at it, breaking it down, usually there's one leader or two leaders that are out front, and then they got a whole bunch of people behind them with torches and ropes and pitchforks and all sorts of stuff following them. That's mob mentality. That's groupthink. That's following. Yeah. Because the one or two had it out for whoever it was and going after whoever it was. And they rallied the truth behind them. Yeah. Okay. People in here are, I don't want to say all. A lot of the people I know, I'll put it that way. Most of the people I know and I bounce stuff off of and go to get understanding. Okay. And it's on both sides of the spectrum. Because I learn as much from people that don't agree with me and hold their ground supporting their opinion. I learn as much from them as I learn from people that know the system, know the space, and we're on the same page. And we're just milling through what's okay. I learn that from both sides. But I also respect both sides because I know both sides are doing their own research, homework, and have formed their own opinion based on information they can back up. That's the difference. Okay? You need to start thinking for yourself. Don't. Okay? And if you start researching, you start reading, and you start listening to the ones that are loud, boisterous, putting out content, putting out information, it's not hard to see where, and I'm talking about me because all my information isn't 100%. I'm not core team. So once my opinion comes in, it becomes my opinion. So I know I'm off. Okay, but I'm close. We all think we're closer than what we may be. Okay. But when I connect the dots, the way I connect the dots, and I can explain how I connected the dots, I believe I got more of a grasp on what I'm in. And you're off. And that's where we usually agree to disagree. Okay. So once you start doing your own research, you'll pick up on who's doing it. So do your own research, do your own calculations, do your own math, Make your own decisions that fit for you. Because pie's money, and we're working at being. We're close to making that. You know, it's cool to be following going, but they're out being a free thinker and thinking for yourself. Because a lot of stuff. Anyway, wake up, grow up, toughen up, do whatever, and we will get there. We are there. We are almost there. But like I say, now it's our responsibility to do the rest of it. It is. CORE has put everything else in place. It's up to us to finish it. And I'm going to do part 3. I'm going to give you my opinion on where I'm at and why I think the way. Okay. So, y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to you in a bit.